Stonehenge, the ancient monument in Wiltshire, has long fascinated historians and archaeologists, but recent studies suggest its secrets might not just be visual, they could be sonic. Some researchers propose that the arrangement of the massive sarsen stones was intentional, designed to produce specific resonances, turning the site into a prehistoric acoustic instrument. Experiments with replicas of the stone show that when struck or when wind passes through gaps, certain frequencies are amplified, creating deep, humming tones that can be heard over long distances. The stones themselves, made of dense sandstone, have natural resonant qualities, and their precise positioning may have created constructive interference patterns, intensifying some frequencies while cancelling others. Archaeologists have found evidence that ancient people were aware of these properties, with some smaller blue stones possibly moved for their particular sonic effects rather than purely for ceremonial reasons. Acoustic simulations suggest that Stonehenge could have produced tones in the range of the human voice, potentially used for ritualistic chanting or signaling events across the landscape. The phenomenon isn't limited to Stonehenge. Other megalithic structures in Europe also show signs of acoustic awareness, hinting at a lost understanding of sound in prehistory. Visitors often report unusual auditory experiences, like vibrations in the chest or eerie echoes, which could be residual effects of the stone's harmonic properties. This theory challenges the conventional notion of Stonehenge solely as an astronomical calendar or ceremonial site, proposing that sound was an integral element of its design. If true, it transforms our understanding of prehistoric culture, suggesting that the builders combined engineering, art, and acoustic science in ways that modern humans are only beginning to explore. Modern researchers have begun rigorous tests, using ground-penetrating radar and 3D laser scanning to map the stone's positions and their potential acoustic impact. By creating digital models, scientists can simulate sound waves passing through the monument, identifying nodes and antinodes where sound amplifies or diminishes. One striking finding is that the arrangement creates natural sweet spots where certain tones resonate more clearly, similar to how a cathedral organ or stringed instrument functions. Experimental replicas of blue stones demonstrate that when struck in sequence, the stones produce harmonic intervals, suggesting an understanding of musical scales or sound patterns. Some theorists argue that the stone's sonic properties could have been used to induce trance-like states during rituals, connecting participants with spiritual or natural phenomena. Wind and weather conditions may have interacted with the stones, producing unpredictable sounds, making each visit a unique acoustic experience and reinforcing a sense of sacredness. Ethnomusicologists point out parallels in other ancient cultures, where architecture was deliberately designed to manipulate sound for ceremonial purposes, lending credibility to the acoustic hypothesis. Skeptics caution that evidence is circumstantial, noting that no definitive written records confirm intentional acoustic design, and some resonances may be coincidental. Nevertheless, the acoustic theory offers a compelling reinterpretation of Stonehenge, merging archaeology with physics and sound engineering in a fascinating way. If these ideas gain wider acceptance, we may have to rethink the monument not just as a visual wonder, but as humanity's first mega-instrument, blending science, art, and ritual. Recent field experiments at Stonehenge use microphones, vibration sensors, and drones to capture subtle resonances, revealing that even today the stones respond to specific frequencies in surprisingly consistent ways. Acoustic engineers have discovered that the blue stones act like natural amplifiers, projecting sound over the surrounding landscape, which could have enabled prehistoric gatherings to hear ritualistic chants clearly from great distances. Some experimental reconstructions have allowed musicians to play sequences on replicas, demonstrating that the stones produce harmonious intervals, suggesting the possibility of prehistoric musical compositions or coordinated ritual soundscapes. Researchers are also investigating the psychological effects of standing within the circle, finding that certain frequencies trigger physiological responses like chills, altered heart rate, and a heightened sense of awareness. Computer models now simulate how the monument might have sounded thousands of years ago, taking into account missing stones, erosion, and ground density, producing surprisingly detailed reconstructions of ancient soundscapes. These studies indicate that sound may have been a deliberate tool, not only for communication but also for spiritual experiences, reinforcing the idea that Stonehenge was a multisensory ritual environment. Collaborations between archaeologists, physicists, and musicians are opening new ways to experience ancient architecture, merging science, history, and art into interactive demonstrations for the public. Even though skeptics argue that intentionality is hard to prove, the acoustic perspective gives Stonehenge a new layer of mystery and fascination, adding depth to centuries of research and speculation. Understanding Stonehenge as a sonic instrument challenges our assumptions about prehistoric intelligence, showing that our ancestors might have mastered not only monumental construction but also the manipulation of sound itself. If this exploration of Stonehenge sonic secrets intrigues you, make sure to hit subscribe and join us as we uncover more ancient mysteries hidden in plain sight.